Hi, everybody. Welcome to our SSA Client Spotlight. I am here with Brooke Bucknum. She is the firm administrator for JGD and Associates, a local CPA firm in La Jolla area, and a new client we onboarded last year. Just really excited to welcome their company to the SSA family and have her on to ask some fun questions and hopefully share some information that all of you may enjoy and learn in this interview. So Brooke, welcome to our spotlight. I know you just mentioned to me, like most clients, slightly introverted, get nervous about interviews. So thank you for being here, even though it may be uncomfortable. So tell us about JGD.
So JGD is a local CPA firm, like you mentioned. We have been around since 1977. So stood the test of time, and we're now in our third generation of partners who've just taken over, and we have clients who've been with us since 1977, and we have a new crop of clients. We do both tax and audit work. Most of our clients are local, and our wheelhouse tends to be the real estate side on tax. And then on audit, we have a really big EBP, employee benefit plan practice.
Okay, got it. Good to know. Good to know. So tell us about your story, a little bit about you. I know a massive Padres fan, so probably really excited to go to some games this season, even though I'm a Dodgers fan. I won't.
Well, you didn't tell me that before
we contracted.
You didn't tell me that before we contracted with you. So
I know. It was on purpose because I knew you were a Padres fan.
Probably why they did that. Actually, I am a third generation San Diegan, so I'm kind of a unicorn, I'm told. But my only claim to fame is my grandmother was born here in San Diego in 1918 and grew up with Ted Williams. So as a kid, I was actually a Red Sox fan as well.
Okay. Hey, welcome to the family. My husband's a Red Sox fan, so we're good.
Equal opportunity. And I'm actually probably a bigger soccer fan than I am a Padres fan. But yeah, grew up here in San Diego. Played soccer my whole life, went to college on a scholarship. The idea was to go to law school, quickly discovered that I liked the business of law better than the practice of law. And after 15 years, decided to make the change to a different professional industry because I like a challenge, and it certainly has been that, but I enjoy it. So.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, speaking of challenges, the most challenging time you've had in the business and how you overcame it.
You know, I don't think I'm alone in saying that the last 3 years in and of itself has probably been the most challenging ever. You know, I don't know anybody who's ever operated through a pandemic. So to me, it was probably no one knew how to navigate that. So it just became, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. And being the firm administrator, that's all on you, right? It's like you're the one navigating and creating.
Yeah, so I think it was a lot of it was not being afraid to make a decision. You just have to make the decision. And because everybody's looking to you and the partners, and make the decision, and you find what works and you find what doesn't work, and you go into it with grace and humility and understand that everybody's dealing with sort of the same struggles, and have the empathy and sympathy across the board, and hope that everybody sort of reflects that as well. And I think that we've done that, and I hope that we've done that because we're still here. And we, you know, we're having the same labor challenges that everybody else is having. But
I imagine the CPA firms are really struggling too. You guys are feeling it, I think, more than most.
Yeah, you know, but that's the thing, is that you kind of look outward, and everybody else is facing the same challenges too. Yeah. So, you know, we're not alone here. So
one of the things I've learned, and I'm still learning, is, you know, we all can be perfectionists and super detail oriented, and at times over analyzing every decision that needs to be made to where we're making decisions too slowly. And one of the things I've tried to adopt, just going along the lines, is like not being afraid to make decisions and make change. And even if it might be the wrong decision, change and movement is actually better than just being stagnant and being paralyzed by decision making. And so it's hard. It's definitely finding that balance, but just not being afraid and making decisions. So
Yeah, I mean, you make the best decision that you can with the information that you have available. And if that information changes the next day, then you have to be comfortable with pivoting.
Yeah.
So
So what is the one piece of advice you would give people that are just starting out in their career today? Like, what's the biggest piece of advice you've learned or that you give people?
it's interesting. People, they always ask, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I still have no idea.
And that's okay, right?
Right. And that's okay. I think the biggest thing, so I was a soccer coach as well, and at the college level, and a lot of them were graduating, coming out, and they would say to me, I don't even know where to start. Like, what do I do? And I always said to them, find your why. Don't go for the fancy title and the fancy company. That's great if that's what you want, but don't go for that just because that's what you think you want or what everybody else is telling you that you want. Find your why and get your foot in the door of the place that is going to be the best fit for you, and then get your hands dirty and work your way up.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
because otherwise you can find yourself with that fancy title and you hate it.
Yeah. And it's meaningless work.
Correct. So
I'm impressed. I just sat through last week and this week, like 30 interviews of seniors who have applied for these scholarships in Carlsbad Unified School District. And it was crazy to me how already they already know what they're so passionate about. And I'm just like, dude, you're 17. You already know, like, how cool is that you have been empowered with your passion so early in life, and they're able to like move forward in what really truly like is their why. And I'm pretty amazed at the talent that these students had. But again, it's they're staying true to what their why. So.
Yeah, I find that interesting too, because I think, I grew up in a time when the thing that I was passionate about, there was no money in that, in women's sports and in coaching.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to have a life and a career, you had to go away from that. But I think what I learned in the role that I fell into, it is coaching. It's just different coaching.
Yeah. And you can still like do your passion in a different way. It doesn't have to be your job. It can be a hobby, I think that's the other thing, is just like seeing what your passion is and applying it to maybe what your career is, but also like keeping that passion as a hobby and staying active in the community.
Yep.
In that way. All right, superpowers. What would you have and why?
Teleport, so that I didn't have to deal with airports.
That's totally mine. Oh my gosh.
Or a 10-hour flight.
Yes.
Off of it, you're like, where am I?
If you could just like blink your eyes and be where you want to be. Oh my gosh. That
could be trouble though, because that could be a stressful day at work and you're just like snap your fingers and you're on that beach in Tahiti and you're like, wait, I can't really be here.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, how much time would we get back in our lives and like travel? I just like people, just be amazing. All right, time machine, teleporting to a certain time period. What would it be?
I think I would go back. I mentioned my grandmother was born here in San Diego in 1918. She was born on the day that they signed the treaty ending World War I. And if you think about the history that she lived through, and she passed away at 97. So I would go back and she told me all the stories about living through the Great Depression and World War II and all of the things. I would just go back and meet her as like a 20-year-old.
That'd be cool. That'd be really neat. You probably had a special relationship with her.
She was a feisty little thing.
Yeah.
It's apparently genetic.
Yeah. Well, we've certainly enjoyed working with you. Whatever part of that your grandma brought, it's been a pleasure, and you're just on it. I love working with companies where you make our job easy. You're on it. You know exactly what you wanted when you were, looking for agencies, and I'm just super thankful that you hired us, and it has really been a pleasure. And this was great too. I love getting to know you more. That now will be shared all over social media and in our newsletter. So hello, everybody. This is Brooke.
Just don't tag me in it.
So thanks for your time. Thanks everybody for listening and watching.